happen for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I am your host, Anthony Lopez, also known as Heavy to Modified. And today, well, some of you may not know, so I'm born and raised in Orange County, California. I didn't really talk about the move a lot other than like the people I talk to every single day, but I moved to Vegas last year. Some people weren't even aware that I moved to Vegas, and moving to Vegas, it is like the mecca of gyms. I've got to meet so many different gym owners. We work out at so many amazing gyms, but there's one gym that stood out the most, and I have the owner right here. Sorry, I'm going through puberty. I have the owner right here. And, you know, Joseph, I met you at your gym randomly. I think Big John actually introduced me to your gym, not to you, to the gym.
Yeah,
right?
we had posted obviously a couple videos of the aesthetic of the
lighting
gym and everything.
Is crazy.
And I think it just kind of caught more of the social side, obviously, of nice aesthetic. People wanted to be able to take videos, photos, and stuff like that. And it kind of caught on. That's when you would come in with somebody else, and actually one of my
Big
coaches.
John, he was on the last podcast.
Yeah, and then one of my coaches at the gym said, "Hey, like, do you know who that is?" And I was like, "No, I'm not familiar." And he's like, "Look him up." And obviously, then he like,
"Stop it! You're giving me a big head."
Oh shit! Like, I mean, obviously views, and I was like, "Yeah, similar story to like me, not in the same angle of like what we do, but in the same kind of growth and kind of health mindset that we've both kind of gone through."
Yeah, and when we had talked, so fast forward, you know, I went to the gym. I liked the gym. I love the aesthetic, and I love that there was a decent amount of people, but it wasn't too many people, right? And, you know, and when I was there, I was like, well, this would be great for content. Like, this is like, it seems like a nice gym and, you know, whatever it might be. And this time I didn't know you. But then we set up something so we could meet one time where I showed up like 25 minutes late. Shout out to me not knowing freaking Vegas traffic. And we started talking. You have your own weight loss journey.
Yeah.
And how crazy. We talked for like, I already was late. And then you stayed an extra hour. We just kind of were vibing back and forth. I was like, I need to get you on my podcast because like, that's really inspirational. So like, let's dive into that before we even start giving all the, you know, all the golden nuggets away.
Yeah.
Right. So like, who were you growing up?
I mean, I was the typical, I grew up in Ohio.
Nice. What
part? Columbus.
Nice. So I have family in Troy.
Yeah. Right outside. I mean, not in the, like out in the suburbs. So not in like the country, but not in like the city either. And just kind of always kind of was in that mindset that my parents made meals. Dinner was around the table. There was potato, there was bread at every meal. And I mean, that was just kind of the standard, typical like American diet that like I consisted of.
Is that considered Southern?
No, it wasn't Southern. It was steak, potato, bread, margarine, and then you would have some type of dessert.
It's standard American.
Yeah. And then, lettuce salad with salad dressing that you would, pour with no kind of consideration of how much you were using. But
so it was more dressing with salad. It's more dressing with lettuce, huh?
Yeah. And then it would just be like times from that where like my dad would be like, "Oh, I'm going on this diet." And I would kind of go with him with it, where it would be like a paleo. At the time, it was like low carb or Atkins diet at the time. That's what pretty much everybody was doing.
Or Weight Watchers.
Yeah. His was always like, "Hey, just eat lots of meat and don't care about what type of meat." It was bacon, whatever it was. But eat meat, drink your light beer. And you're good. And you lose a little bit of weight and then like put it back on over the next couple months.
And then constantly do that.
Yeah.
And the circle of life, right?
Then it was always kind of like growing up. Like, I was never like fat young, but like as I was in my teenage years and then growing out of like puberty and stuff like that, I was overweight. My mom would always say big boned. My dad, or they would always say, "Oh, like, it's just, this is like you, this is what it is." And
genetics.
It isn't, but it isn't what it is because looking back on it now, and again, not all the things that my parents knew about certain things and stuff like that, but the disorders that I had towards food was that I ate food because it made me happy. I ate food in secret and wouldn't tell. I would hide food. I had a spoon hidden down in the basement of my parents' house next to the ice cream bins. Like,
wow.
Just different things that aren't normal eating, but like when they would see it and like, or they would like just talk about, "Oh, well, like, you're just always going to be bigger." And but it took a lot longer later to find out that, hey, like, this isn't normal. This isn't regular, and that like you need to do something about it. And like always kind of that like crab pulling the bucket back in mentality of like, hey, you don't need to do that. You can have a piece of cake on your sister's birthday. Like, and like when I was like hell bent, hey, like this is it. Like, this is like as far as I'm going, and I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to keep doing it until I get to where I want, not like small stops on the way and then like I'll like regress back. No, this is like, hey, I'm going all the way in.
And then
like,
you'll learn the lifestyle after.
Yeah. So I mean, that was kind of the thing. And I mean, I'm not a dietitian. We
just talk life stories here. You're sharing this is your journey. You know what I mean?
I preface this with like, this isn't doctor, but I mean, I was close to 285 pounds. I was told obviously at the like regular store that I could no longer fit in clothes. That I mean, the only option that they would recommend was like a big and tall type place. And,
I
that
just
was
made a
kind of
post about that.
That was the light bulb moment. I mean, that was the point that I was like, hey, like, I mean, I'm outside the area of natural. This isn't normal. And that like, hey, like you need to correct. And I mean, I kind of did like from that point, it was more of like a 180 correction because I took it in the complete opposite extreme. I took and combined 2 to 3 different diets, and literally took it down to the point of like, hey, I know that a low carb diet works. I know that a low fat diet works. I know that a Fedra works. Let's combine the 3. And what's the only thing?
A weight loss cocktail.
So like, what's the only thing that all 3 of them have in common is lean protein.
Yeah.
So like, I literally went on a diet of deli meats, canned tuna, and boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and with distilled water and a Fedra. And I did that for 9 months straight. I would eat 2 pounds of meat and nothing else.
Carbs,
No. This was, hey, like I didn't want to add too many carbs. I didn't want to add too many fats. Like I was just going, hey, I know this diet works. I know this diet works. And I know a Fedra helps with like keeping your metabolism moving and just kind of the thermogenic burn of it. I felt myself sweating all the time at work. And I'm like, all right, this is working. And the scale started moving in the right direction. I started adding in a little bit of like running, started adding that twice a day, every single day. There was no excuses why I couldn't get out there and do something. Even if it was cold outside, I was going out. You know what I mean? It was like, I'm on this journey. And I got it down to almost sickening side of skinny where, I mean, I was down to about 179, I think was my lowest.
Okay. So I want to get into before we even get to your lowest and what you learned from that experience, because you've turned into a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Right. You're not overweight right now. You're muscular. I seen the muscles, man, pop into the shirt. But like dive back into your spoon downstairs in the garage. I think it was a garage or the
in the basement.
With the basement. There you go.
In Ohio, they have basements.
Yes, I was gonna say I'm not used to basements. Like we got
Midwest,
garages over here.
In
My
the Midwest, you have that
we don't have a tornado shelters.
Yeah, the storm drain for the tornadoes when the alarms would go off.
So like what like in that moment of your life, but at that time you thought it was normal. So like why did you hide it if you thought it was normal?
I thought that being big was normal. I didn't think that what I was doing and what I was hiding was normal.
Okay.
I felt that like I felt joy when I would eat ice cream. I felt joy when I would eat crackers and candy out of the
food is comfort.
But that I knew like I couldn't do it around other people because I was eating a half gallon of ice cream, or I'd scoop the tops off of 4 different ones that were in the freezer type thing, trying to think that nobody would notice type deal. But like, I mean, it wasn't like out in public type deal. I was like, oh no, I'm normal. But then like, you're not normal.
Yeah,
like,
you're hiding.
It's like, or you'd write it down and you'd be like, oh, this is all I ate today. But like, that's
you
not
know the truth.
And like getting people to like know that like, hey, like, I mean, being honest with themselves and actually writing down everything that you eat and truly talking about diet, talking about nutrition, it's an uncomfortable subject. People enjoy the taste of food. Otherwise they wouldn't eat it. If it all just was purely for energy purposes in and out, that wouldn't be the fact.
Yeah.
But everything is so like overly sweet, overly like
overindulging everything.
Yeah.
So what do you think about, when you were having the ice cream, you're indulging, you're hiding everything. It's so interesting that you say that, because I didn't hide spoons or anything. My whole family is overweight, so I would just get the whole you eat a lot. Are you hungry? Right. Yeah. But for me,
because everybody else did.
Everyone else did it, right? So I was the biggest one in the family. Or maybe at the moment, at the time I was the biggest one in the family. But my whole family is overweight, right? Sure. But like your hiding was hiding a spoon. You guys had ice cream and stuff like that. So I never had to hide eating in my house.
Yeah.
But what I started to do when I started to get older and I was driving and I had money in my pocket, like say my grandma wanted to get food for the family. I'm like, I'll go get it. Yeah. And then we got McDonald's. Oh yeah. Right, whatever. Yeah. So we get everyone's food. I get my food, but then I get like 2 burgers for the drive home.
Oh yeah.
But I did that every single time I went somewhere. So when I got dinner twice.
Yeah.
So I wasn't hiding spoons, but I was definitely hiding. I threw away the receipts all the time, and then I threw away the bag before I got there, or I would throw away the trash of the 2 burgers right when I get there. I pull it out, take out the wrappers, throw them away at the McDonald's, and then just have the 2 burgers in my hand, and just eat them on the way home.
I would do that with chicken nuggets.
Chicken nugget, bro. Those are just bite-sized protein bars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
man.
I mean, it was always, I mean, my meal growing up, I mean, not growing up, but like when I was in my teens and in my low 20s when I was working, I mean, I'd go to Wendy's, McDonald's, and I mean, it was $6. It was 2 junior bacon cheeseburgers, a fry, a chicken nugget, and a Diet Coke.
Oh, bro, your diet? You got diet? Oh, I wasn't even doing it.
Yeah.
You gotta get diet for the diet, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, but it was weird. Like growing up in my house, like we had soda. You were allowed 2 sodas a day, but the only sodas in our house were diet. But we had everything else. Like everything else was
cookies,
full food.
full
and
carbs.
like
and
when I
sugars.
say like hiding like the spoon, well, that was just for the ice cream. Like if I was eating Debbie snack cakes, like I was hiding the wrappers underneath other stuff, so it wasn't
tucking them
6
under the
wrappers
pillows.
stacked
Yeah,
up
yeah.
On top of, no, it was in the trash can.
Or you when you put the trash,
you'd pull up a little
Yeah.
trash. And then
Oh
slide
my
underneath,
gosh,
so
man.
that like it wasn't 6 on top or like anything like that.
It's so funny too that you're sharing this because we don't have to be at our same version of rock bottom to be at rock bottom.
Yeah.
I was 600, 500, 400, 500, 600 pounds doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
You were on your way to getting that, but you stopped yourself at an earlier age, right? But I would do the same thing, man. It's so funny you said that. You would know I would eat a couple extra snacks and pick up the trash, tuck it under so you couldn't see it, push down, and then call it a day, man. I completely, I'm in this new version of myself where sometimes I forget these stories, and when people bring them up, I'm not gonna say it brings up like a smile on my face, but I remember, like, I would do that too.
I mean, it hurts, and the worst part about it is like thinking back about it. You're like knowing the things that I know now and knowing the things that are possible now.
Yeah,
it hurts when you see other people doing it to themselves, and there's nothing you can say that like won't allow them to not hit rock bottom
other than share this story.
Correct.
Yes, and that's why we have
it.
like literally that's why we have this podcast. So many of my clients right now are listening and doing the same thing that we once did. And they're looking at 2 people that changed themselves around, right? But before we get into even that right there, what did that do for you growing up with you hiding food, hiding spoons? Like it had to build like some type of bad relationship with food.
I mean, I still have a bad relationship with food.
Really?
Like, I mean, I still am like obsessive compulsive to some degree, meaning like if there's a pint of ice cream in the house that I purchase, it's eaten or it goes in the trash. Like it's one or the other. It's not eat 1 spoonful a day. My wife will, but her taste buds are different and she likes certain things, thank God, because otherwise I would eat hers too.
Yeah.
But like in my house, like if I buy ice cream, I buy a single serve pint and it's getting eaten that night because I won't buy a gallon because it's
yourself.
It's all I'll think about for the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, our household, you can't eat bad here if you wanted to, bro. If you wanted to go break your whatever, you were on a diet. We don't use the word diet, right?
Yeah.
We are on a life change. We're building this. This is a lifestyle for us, right?
Sure.
But yeah, there's nothing in here because I'm the same way, man. Because like I'll say no once, I'll say no twice, but third time I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? God damn it, you know what I mean? And I'll eat it with moderation, but I'm like, I told myself no, so it pisses me off when I still do it. So I mean, my house is the same thing. When we buy something, we and if you're out there listening, like really pay attention to this. Like, if you're gonna eat the bad food, eat it, and be done with it, and don't bring it home with you because you've already enjoyed it out there. You don't need to bring leftovers home. Like it tastes good at the restaurant, it ain't gonna taste good at home unless it's like steak and mashed potatoes.
Yeah. No,
I bring that home
100%.
with me.
Steak.
You know what I
I
mean?
could. My wife would kill me, but I would eat steak every night. But Monday's salmon.
Monday's
night.
salmon.
The
Okay,
rest,
that makes sense.
The rest is steak night. Could be. And like when she's in California, I go to Sam's Club or I'll go to Costco.
Don't get in trouble on here, man. She might be listening to this.
She knows.
Okay.
Like, and I mean, I joke that like food prep for the week. No, that's just steak Monday, steak Tuesday, steak Wednesday.
Live
sirloins.
off of it, man.
Yeah,
I
off
love
of
it.
the electric
Do steak
grill
tacos?
outside. Yeah, no, I don't even get that. I just get the basic.
Oh, you just know.
little,
You're not a carb
seasoning.
guy. You're not a big carb
I do
guy
am
right now.
now. I mean, I've now found better relation with food, and I now eat carbs like in every meal. I eat vegetables in every meal.
Okay.
I was just saying that was at the extreme moment of like, hey, I'm going to take this from here to there, and I'm not going to do it drastic. I'm not going to do it like little bit at a time because
You're
that
going
didn't work.
full
I'm
force.
going in with everything, and I'm going to give it kind of the full gamut, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Now, and that took a while too, because I was a low carb guy for a long time. I was a paleo person. I would always meat, vegetables type deal. But then weekends would come and I would literally I weigh myself every morning, but like on Friday mornings, I'd weigh 201, 202. That's my like average weight. And then Sunday night before I went to bed, I would be 219, 220.
Holy
Like
crap.
because I was such in an influx of
You're yo-yoing
carbo-
kind of in a way.
Yeah, in like I'd be low carb throughout the entire week, and then I'd have pizza on Saturday, and like the sodium intake and stuff like that would bloat me and hold on to it, where the scale did read 20 pounds.
But
heavier.
on Tuesday, it would have went back to normal.
By like Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
I could be right back.
That's
down
so funny you brought that up. So I just had a conversation with my client this week, and he looked so bummed out, right? Because he was like, "Coach, like, look at my tracking. Look at my this." I was like, "Okay, you're right. Like, we are in a deficit." And I believe all my clients, right? I'm never going to call anyone a liar. I'm going to either prove where we could have made better, or we're going to figure out the problem. But I'm not going to assume you're a liar.
Yeah.
I believe the best in everybody. So I look over the track in the first form app, and I look over everything. His workouts are logged in, and we had a great conversation last week. So I thought it was weird too that he was up 0.5. And then so I was looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, coach, like look at like I'm doing this, like I'm pretty bummed out." And he looked like, you just see like his frustration, and you know when someone's telling the truth, right? I was like, "Okay, let's look over this. So you're tracking your food. I can see what you're eating. So let's look over it." And I was like, "Okay, cool. First things first. What do we do different? What do we do new this week? What do we start falling back in line with?" Like I started taking all my supplements, blah, blah. I was like, "Wait, are you taking your creatine again?" He's like, "Yes." Okay, that's one thing. All right, cool. Well, body got to use the having more creatine. We're hold on to a little more water. Don't people out there listen like, "Oh, I'll take creatine. That's why I gain weight." No, that's not true. No. It's just got to get used to his body again. And then on top of that, on Sunday he stayed in a deficit, but he stayed in on deficit eating at a buffet. So that's higher sodium, like higher processed food. And I was like, okay, now hear me out. Now we're back on creatine, where we hold more water in our muscles. Yeah. And then you had a higher sodium food that your body has not used to. Yeah. So relax and let's do the same thing we did last week. And I guarantee this Monday he'll be weight loss. But it's cool that you brought that up because
people flip.
But you know what it is though? I was like, but I told him the conversation was good to have because now he's not like, oh, well, okay, we'll do better next week. I told him why that 0.5 is there. He's doing the right thing. But when people see that after a week of working hard, what they do is they reflect and they quit. Yeah. Right. They look at it like, I worked hard for 7 days, didn't see weight loss.
The work didn't give them the outcome that they wanted to a degree. So they felt like I might as well just give up and not do
exactly. Anything. But that conversation I got to have with them, it ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Right. And then that's what we do with ourselves. You learn with it. Like so you're pretty sure there's been times where your weight loss where you didn't have a coach at the time. You're on your own. You're going 0 to 100. You didn't see the scale say what you want to say, and you felt like giving up. Yeah. Right. But you kept pushing. Right. Consistency. Yeah. Right. Kept watering the seed. Yeah. And then now you're here. We're at. So you're going in 0 to 100. Right. How long did it take for you to lose that? What was it, 100 pounds?
That was 9.5 months
of just no carb. Or low carb. Was it no carb or low carb?
No, it was, whatever carbs you're getting in canned
vegetables
tuna. No, not even vegetables.
Not even vegetables.
No vegetables. I went to the deli counter and I ordered 2 pounds.
You're a carnivore.
2 pounds of deli meat. No, not carnivore. I like meat, but like I know that protein didn't have fat. And if you got the lean stuff, then obviously it didn't have carbs. Yeah. So like I was like, and I know I need a certain amount. So I would go to the deli counter. I'd get 2 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken breast, the sliced stuff out of the deli. Okay. And I would ask them to put it into 4 bags so that I could eat it throughout the day.
So those are your 4 meals.
Work and, I would take 2 with me to work and I would eat 2 at home. Mustard on there, and then I would just try the different seasonings. But it was still no ranch, just anything.
No
that
fun
was
sauces.
Nothing that was and back then they didn't have all the crazy sauces that you get
the sugar free and all that stuff.
All those keto meals and stuff like that. But I was just like, hey, no, I'm just I'm eating because I need food to survive. Yeah. And that was it.
It wasn't to taste good. It wasn't to feel good.
It was not fun. Energy. It was not enjoyable.
That's okay. So I'm hearing this, that's a really extreme. I know you're not like that now. Right. I'm assuming. So what did you learn? Okay. So because now, okay, first off, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I'm loving your story. No. First, what do you do now?
My meals now, I eat 5 to 6 days of pretty set meals. But I eat 4,000 calories now. I'm 205 pounds on the average. I'm about 105 pounds of muscle. So, my intake supports the amount of it. Back then I had never worked out. I just ran. So I had no muscle gain.
All cardio.
So yeah. And that's what everybody tells you is that hey, you should
eat
do
less,
cardio.
Run more.
Yeah. Eat less, do more cardio, which cardio is great for the day, but it does nothing long-term for benefit. No. Now looking back on that, looking back on it now, you need cardiovascular, but you only need a certain degree. Yeah. You don't need to run for an hour. You need to run for 10 to 15 minutes.
Of your heart rate out.
Get the heart rate up.
Say that.
Not even really run.
Give them a little knowledge on that. Because I got people right now that join the program and think, I have to do cardio. No, but then you also have idiots on social media saying that eat 1 time a day and do cardio for 2 hours a day, you're going to lose weight. Well, no crap, but you're going to be miserable.
Cardio is not the sake of running, the sake of doing Peloton, the sake of an elliptical or stair climber.
Yep. What is cardio?
Cardio is elevated heart rate.
There it is.
if you rest less, lift more, your heart rate will go just as high and you'll accomplish both.
And that's from someone who lost over 100 pounds.
Now, hey, but I didn't know that back then.
No, I know.
Back then it was just run for 2 hours a day.
It's good though.
One in the morning, one in the night. And again, I mean, extreme then looks at it differently from a different lens.
Because it wasn't sustainable, but
Yes,
that was your boost.
Yeah.
Like that's what got you to where you're at today. Then you started learning knowledge. Like without knowledge, there's no success in anything, correct?
Correct.
Right. So now you don't lose weight like that. I'm pretty sure you don't tell your clients or the people in your gyms to lose weight like that.
No.
So
unless if they have a short, I tell everybody, hey, like what can you do for longevity? What can you do more than 90 days? What can you do more than 30 days?
Long-term success.
What is something that you can wake up every single day and stick to?
Yep.
And let's get 1% better every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, not saying that you can't do what I did, but I mean, it does take a lot of like headspace to do that, to get you down to that point where you're in it and that you're not going to quit it.
Yeah. And it takes a lot of toll on your body.
Yes.
And a lot of toll on your mental, right? And then on top of that, you're so restricted for so long. Either one, that person just becomes a robot, which is fine. Right? Some people are robots. Yeah. Some people can I talked to Bisho, and the guy just like eats the same thing every single day. Yeah. So plain food, and that's fine. But for me, and for I'll say for 95% of the world, that's not possible. I mean, it's not realistic, but 5% are just savages.
For the last 6 years, ever since I opened my first gym, I've had the same thing for breakfast and the same thing for lunch for the last 6 years.
Nice. It means that pre-workout and post-workout are my meals are the same. I just love ground turkey and white rice.
Yeah, I don't
love it.
I don't deviate much because I don't want to think about it. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm going to end up.
That's what he said.
Doing something else.
Yeah, that's what he's like. Like if you could take one, because you're a multiple business owner, correct?
Yeah.
Because you have multiple gyms, correct?
Yes. We have
so it's like the less stress you could take off the food you're going to eat, the more time you have to work with your business or be with your kids or your family.
Like the Steve Jobs always wears a black shirt. Why? Because it's one less thing I have to think about.
That's
take it off your plate, have somebody else think about it for you. As long as you're hitting your numbers,
that's
you're
it.
Good.
Yeah.
Nighttimes Monday through Friday are pretty regimented. It's a protein, vegetable, and either rice or a potato, within moderation. 4 ounces of potato weighed all the time.
Yep.
So
food
that
skills.
life. Yeah. And I don't, it's not like, it looks like 4 ounces of potato.
No,
I can do that with the steak. I don't care like that. Like the steak.
Protein, I'm like,
steak, you know what? If it's 16 ounces, great. If it's 10 ounces, great. But if the potatoes, always 4 ounces or less.
Yeah. And I share that with a lot of, with my clients and people I talk to on social media. I'm like, look if your protein overpowers everything on that plate, you are not going to finish the plate because we're not used to processing so much protein, not processed protein. I'm talking about processing, like food, digesting, or protein. We're not going to finish the whole plate. But what it is we have a little protein, right? Like think about tacos.
And the rest is
little protein, right? On the taco, two tortillas, beans and rice. Like you get what I'm saying? Like our protein's always so small, but I always share. It's like I don't know about you, but we have 3 carts for doing tacos. Yeah, and we have a mini pancake business. The cheapest thing that we pay for, and when it comes to food, is going to be the carbs. Oh yeah. The most expensive thing on the plate is surprisingly, the cheese. Cheese is more expensive than per pound, but then it goes meat too. So the two things that everyone charges extra is more expensive. But think about it. If they charge extra for meat because it costs them more money, then why are they going to put more meat in your plate when they could give you more beans or rice? Yeah. Right? Because it's cheaper. 100%. Right? Why? That's why when you get your places from, Chinese places, you have more, you have a tower of noodles, you have a tower of rice, and you got like 6 freaking orange chickens. You know what I mean? Like, it's more expensive for the protein.
6 baby shrimps.
Oh my God. Those shrimps are those. Oh man, those are sad. Yeah. Just make it at home, people. Please make it at home. You know what I mean? So like, it's so funny you say that. I tell my clients too, like, you focus on protein, you will not be hungry. You will lose weight being fuller than you've ever been in your life. Yeah. Right? Because when you eat pizza, I don't know about you, when's the last time you eat pizza?
Saturday.
Oh, lucky man. Lucky man. I've been wanting pizza since the new year. But when I eat pizza, bro, I'm hungry like 45 minutes later. Yeah. But when I eat like a freaking, like a hefty ass sandwich with like real protein or like whatever, anything at home, the high protein, bro, I'm full. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying life.
With a high strength like regimen, meaning that you're working out 4 to 6 times a week and you're eating healthy, clean, healthy 5 or 6 days a week, you can have one day where you can eat whatever you want. But I also know myself, and Sunday, I don't wake up and then go back to, oh, you know what? We should have McDonald's breakfast today. Yeah. No, I wake up and I have eggs and kale on a Sunday. Like when people are like enjoying their Sunday, oh, you should go to brunch. No, It's back. Like that was Saturday. Saturday will come next week. And
Yeah.
you know what? If I want to enjoy something, then I can. Now, if I'm on vacation, completely different. But I also know what got me there, and I know how to stay there.
Let's go, man.
Like maintenance is easy. Progress is hard.
Oh.
Anytime that you want to break through something new, it's going to be more of a struggle than maintaining what you got. I mean, when you talked about like deadlifts and stuff like that, when you hit 500, you can do 500 again.
Oh, yeah.
515.
505.
Yeah, 505.
Shit.
It feels way
I don't know how
heavier.
these legs carried 600.
Yeah. Oh, I put on a backpack and do some of the like step up workouts, and I'm just like, oh,
Man, just insane.
some of the stories that, you're just like, oh man, I don't know how I ever weighed 285 pounds and did anything.
Yeah, I like that analogy though. How you just broke down and it's easy to continue to do what you have right now,
Yeah.
but in order to to get
Maintenance-
better, right? Maintenance is. Would you say maintenance
is easy, progress is hard.
Maintenance is easy, progress is hard. I think it's the title of the podcast right there, buddy. I like that one right there because it's very true though.
Yeah, I mean, once you hit that, I mean, I'm very weak bencher compared to my squats or anything else.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you hit that 135, that 135 is with you.
Yeah.
Like to
You
continue
got
to
that-
build it, like that.
It's-
Now you gotta work at it. You
gotta
gotta
work.
continue doing it week after week. You can't revisit it in a month and be like, still got it. No, you probably can. It's something that's a little bit more maintainable or a little bit lower down those numbers. But I mean, anytime you want to get progress, diet is progress. If you want to lose weight, that's not maintenance. That is not eating the cheat meals, eating pizza on Saturdays.
No,
that is bringing you back
building
to
new
singles.
structure.
Yeah,
It's
that's
building new structure.
That's bringing you back to equilibrium status. That's putting me back at 220 on Sunday to get back down to 200 by Friday.
Let's go,
That's
man.
not hit 200 on Friday, get down to 190 by the following Friday.
Yeah.
Like that's not that eating structure.
Yep.
But once you get to where you want to be, you can be a little bit more flexible in your dieting and be a little bit more like understanding with how the things are that you want, but you have to still eat within moderation.
I was gonna say, and also too, the discipline you build to get to that number, you respect it. It's like it's something that's not given; it's earned.
Yeah.
Right. So if I were to give you this iPad right now, you'd be like, "Oh, cool, thanks, man."
Yeah.
Right. But if I would make you give me $1,000 for this iPad, you're gonna treat this thing like it's you. Oh, hey, don't mess with that. No, make sure you close it, clean it when you put it back. Like you know what I mean. So
my
when
weights
you
at my gym compared to somebody else coming in and using the weights for a day.
yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we get into that. You know what I mean? I can only imagine the stuff
Dumping
you've
the
already seen
dumbbells off the floor, watching the videos, and you're just like, why? Like, why did you have to do that?
Why did you drop? I don't drop dumbbells.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. I respect your gym. You know what I mean? But it's getting to things. It's just. But once again, though, you're a gym owner.
Yeah.
Every single equipment, everything in that gym, you paid. Did someone give it to you?
No,
You
that's
paid
hard
for it,
work.
right?
Yeah. that's hard
So
work.
you respect the hell out of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then you have people that don't earn that stuff. That don't know that Arsenal machine you got is like 15 racks.
Yeah.
And they just come in and bang it up, drop it, throw it, then leave it, put it away wet.
Yeah.
You're like, hold on, that's $15,000. That's not just Arsenal. That's you know what I mean. And like, but it just goes to show that it's like people it's hard for people to respect what they didn't earn,
Yeah.
right? But you've earned you earned the money to buy that machine, so you respect that machine, right? And since you put in the work to get down to the size you wanted to, you know how it is to respect that weight. Like I'm never gonna go back to 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And people say never say never.
Sure.
But I've earned that number of 265 to know that I didn't like 300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know what it is to like, I earned that to like keep this.
Yeah.
Right. And I know what I need to do to get 300 and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like
How to maintain it.
how to maintain it and how to keep that discipline and how easy it is to mess up.
100%.
But then again, at the same time, that feeling of messing up is horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You ever did that on your journey, or even like recently? Like, if you ever just when you let your own self down, I feel once you put in the work, then you follow the path, and you start becoming the best version of yourself, or the best version you've ever been. The amount of the guilt you feel for letting yourself down is like times 100 because you know how hard you had to work to get there. You feel the same way?
To some degree, I think though that like you need to change, like your frame of reference changes though.
Okay, explain that.
Like I would never hide a spoon
Yeah.
now.
Also, like the mentality of it changes.
You have to change your mentality. You have to say that's not who
Gotta change those
that's not
habits.
who I am. That's not me. That was old Joe.
That's
was
who I
Joe.
was, not who I
That
am.
was Joe then. That's not Joe now. If somebody brings it up or like they want to like when I go home or whatever, like somebody will be like, "Oh, like you changed so much." Yes, I'm a different person. Like, that's not me.
Your
Like, I
goal
don't-
was to change.
Yeah, I don't go and eat like an asshole 5 days in a row. I might have one meal where you know what, I'll eat whatever I want or do whatever I want, but like the very next day, I'm right back to it. Oh, you're not going to come out with us? No, that's not this person.
Yeah.
That was that person.
Yeah.
That person would go
One
out
and done.
and drink 5 nights
One and
in a
done.
row. But that's not what it is now. And I mean, I think that like when you change your person and who you want to become, I think it is a lot of who you also surround yourself with. If you, I moved away from home. I am not around the same people or the same things and the same surroundings that I was then at That Joe.
Yeah.
That Joe's in Ohio.
Yeah.
That Joe's not in Vegas.
Does that Joe ever come back out?
Yeah. I mean, I could still eat with the best of them. I mean, I still had like one of the highest like eating chicken wings at like Quaker Steak and Lube. I mean, I had 87 chicken wings.
87?
Yeah, 87.
Bro, I've been over 600 pounds and I've never been 87. You're savage.
Yeah.
I did do the
Quaker Steak
Buffalo
and
Wild
Lube.
Wings challenge. It was like 12 of the hottest ones, bro. Devoured
No,
those
not
things.
I don't like hot. Like, don't get me in the hot ones. That hurts the stomach for days and you think about it. But like, I mean, that wouldn't like on a Tuesday, I'd go to Quaker Steak and Lube where it was $12.99, all you can eat chicken wings. And I mean, we'd sit there and I would always be 30 higher than everybody else.
I've never been to an all-you-eat chicken wing place. I think
I
if
don't
there
even
was
think it would
around
exist
me,
now because I mean, how expensive chicken wings are.
yeah.
Like back then, like, I mean, I think at the time
I
like,
might have been 700 pounds if there's
Yeah.
an all-you-eat chicken wing place by my house.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings would be like, I mean, what, like
They would
25
cent wings.
25 cent
Oh,
wings?
yeah,
Now-
yeah, for sure.
Now they're all like $1.25. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
To eat 87, that'd be
87.
I mean, that'd be $100
Yeah,
bill.
easy.
You'd be,
Easy.
even-
I've spent it
that'd
before
be a
on food.
$50 all you can eat. Yeah.
If there was a
Yeah.
wings, chicken wings and
Yeah.
pizza are like my kryptonite.
Yeah.
Like hands down. That's why a lot of my recipes that we do in like the ebooks have like to
Yeah.
do with like homemade pizza stuff.
Yeah.
Because
My
like
wife made-
I love that. Francine just started to make
Yeah.
some like this very kind of protein ranch.
Yeah.
It tastes good. Like bro, I love it. Like I grew
Can
up.
I tell you the ranch hack?
Oh bro, share it.
Yeah. Chobani yogurt, 4% with ranch seasoning.
The powder.
Yeah.
I think that's what we do.
Is that
Yeah,
exactly
that's what we do. Yeah.
No, so we do that with like everything. And the Chobani
Oh my gosh.
is the most like creamy, and get the 4% Greek yogurt. Don't get the like no fat because you want some
You
of
want
the
some
fats
fat.
for it.
Fats are good for
And
it.
then you just we have the Sam's Club ranch like seasoning pack,
Yep.
and I literally just put that in there, and I do it on pretty much everything. I put it on my potatoes like as like ranch dressing.
Yeah.
I use it with
Bro,
like
little
everything.
hacks like that go a
Everything.
long way. My big,
Yeah.
so I always make fun of everyone that likes ranch because I was a big ranch person.
Yeah.
But with wings now, I always tell when I matured and I moved to
Yeah.
blue cheese.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But what are you, ranch or blue cheese person?
ranch.
You're a ranch person. Well, you just said
I
you
like
put
both.
it on everything.
I like both,
Yeah,
but I mean, if I want to get after it, like I mean,
You,
yeah, don't get me
if
wrong,
Ohio
yeah.
Joseph comes out,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
ranch.
You'll go with both, and I mean, I would, I'd be just as much pizza as I would be wings.
So when you're around your heaviest, you know what I mean? Like, and you're a wing person. Right?
Yeah.
We had a connection right
Yeah.
now. You probably have a connection with 95% of the people listening
Yeah.
right now. So like, how many dipping sauces would you go? Average night in Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, probably 6 to 8.
I was gonna say, bro, 10 to 12 easily.
Yeah. Now the crazy part is like when you're eating that, it wasn't like I was never eating 87 because I enjoyed it. It was like always kind of a competition at that point.
You were that guy.
But
You were Joseph,
you
the
would just
75
stick-
pound or
you would just
75
stick with
wingman.
one flavor, and you wouldn't like you couldn't eat any more ranch dressing. It was literally like medium wing and just go. Like the first 30, you'd try all the different flavors and stuff like that. But after that, it was just like medium, and then like eyes to the prize going.
My
for the-
man was
going
locked
for the number.
in on 75 wings, big dog.
You just stack them up. I
I
mean, you
love
have
that.
the boneyard that would
Bro, the
just come
smile
up
on
with
this guy's face when
yeah.
we're talking about
Oh,
wings,
yeah.
man. I think we might bring in the Ohio Joseph back right now. We about to go get some wings
Yeah.
tonight. No, I can't,
yeah.
man. It's too
I already
late.
had dinner. I had dinner early.
Are you?
Yeah.
It's all shaking. You're like, yo, let's order some wings. No,
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
know, but it's so interesting. So
Air fried wings now?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Try those?
air fryer. Oh yeah, hands
Yeah.
down. Air fryer is the staple in your household. If you do not have an air fryer,
Yeah, 100%.
go get one now.
Yeah, the Breville.
They get
Do you
whatever.
have the oven size type one?
Ours
the
is
big
a-
one. No, do
not
you have
the- we haven't- we
cup,
haven't-
or do you have an actual oven?
No, we
that's
have like the one that's like this
No, you need the Breville.
Is that
Get the
it?
Breville, like where you can actually put like I do prime ribs in that motherfucker. I do everything in that thing.
He has one. I want one.
Oh yeah.
Is it time to
Absolutely.
get?
Yeah, we
It's
make
time.
we make our own like Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
Oh, bro, I hate Raising Cane's, so it's
Really?
cool. Yeah.
My
I'd rather
wife
make
said
it at
this-
home.
My wife said the same thing, and then I
Bro, that
converted
is
her.
no.
converted
Raising
her.
Cane's
Yeah.
is trash. I'm sorry,
Oh.
but hey, make it at home, like fried chicken at home. Chicken at home, man. I'm part black, baby. I think it's part of my blood. I think it's my blood. I think I like that stuff. So it's like you know what I mean. The air fryer is a staple in our household.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Do you brine them overnight?
Wings. Yeah.
Brine your
Oh yeah.
chicken?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I still have like
spicy pickle?
that. I love no spicy pickle, but spicy. But
Yeah.
I make a spicy sauce. You don't like spicy sauce, so I
put
can't
them in
make it
brine,
for
though?
you.
No.
But no, the dry rub. not really the type of person, but the wet, I do.
Yeah.
I got a spiciness that was
Nice.
tastes good. But like I still have that fat boy mentality.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So that's why I
It's never
enjoy
gone anywhere.
it. Doesn't
I mean,
go anywhere. You kind of
you just know where
shut it up.
where it is, and
you just kind of tuck it away and lock it up.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I can if I wanted to right now, but like I don't. Like it's just not like
It's a conversation, not a want.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as like, I mean, like don't like the alcoholic shouldn't have alcohol in their house. Why? Because you're probably going to drink it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm the same way. My alcohol is cookies and candy and cupcakes and ice cream. And I mean, and just bad food. And I mean, if you put yourself in the situation and you surround yourself with it, you're going to be more tempted than not if it's not there. If it's 4 miles down the street and you got to go to the store and go through all the effort, probably not going to happen. If you have the 2 Oreo cookies because you saw the flavor on it and you're like, that sounds really good, and then you eat 7, you're like, the rest are going in the trash can. Why? Because I don't trust myself.
There it is.
Just take it away. Like, don't.
Like, well, what they say, like you said, you removed yourself from the Ohio Joseph to become who you are today. You're removing the bad foods around you because you want to be the Joseph who you are today.
Yeah.
Right. So like you had to remove yourself from it. Yeah. Right. So if you know that you're working on yourself and you're becoming better in yourself, that's like you being addicted to meth. Yeah. Right. And you're like, oh well, I don't do meth on the weekends.
Or
are you still living in meth? Exactly.
And you're still around the same.
You're still around the same
friends.
people. Yeah. Exactly. Like you don't want to do that. So remove yourself.
You're sitting there on the couch like this, and everybody around you smoking meth, and you're like, well, I'm not going to do it. And you're like, well, they're looking like they're having a lot of fun. I mean, like
it's like me with the Oreos. Yeah. The one time I say no, second time I say no, third time I'm like, okay, we're going, and we ain't going for 2 because that's a serving size. We're going for a roll, right? It's solid 1,200 calories. So I was like, you know what? Let me just not have it here, and I have discipline. I have self-control. 100%. But why am I gonna? It's like me going to hang out with gangsters when I'm not a gangster. Yeah. Why surround myself with? Why am I going to put myself in that boat?
That allows you to potentially make a bad decision.
Exactly. Why put yourself in a position that you could possibly fail in?
Change your surroundings, change your attitude.
No,
I mean,
that's it.
Take the things that are around you, make everything harder to do in the reverse, and you'll be more successful.
Coming from the man himself, been with no carbs for almost a year, or very little carbs.
I think I lived on ephedra. I think that was the only thing that like energy wise gave me any balance.
You were probably like sweaty like hell.
Oh yeah, I'd be undershirt with. I used to work at an electronics store, and you had to wear like a button-up shirt. That was,
you sweat through it. Was it red?
I had a red one, a blue one, and a white one. The white one would show the least, and I'd always have an undershirt. And I would sometimes, especially my worst, like I would go and get paper towels out of the bathroom, and I'd have them shoved underneath both arms, and I'd replace it like every 30 minutes. So I would literally like 8 paper towels underneath right here, and then like you'd walk out, and like 30 minutes later, you're like, fuck, I gotta go.
Got to do it again. So I love this because you had such a intense weight loss, and when I mean that, you went like 0 to 100. Yeah. And you've learned a lot from how you probably tell people how to lose weight now. So I think what would you tell the person that is doing that 0 to 100, cutting everything out, doing cardio every single day, driving themselves to the ground? Like, what can you share with them that you've learned that, will help them not do that crash dieting, I guess we can call it?
I think that if the crash diet has an end course, meaning 30 days, 90 days, you have a goal in your head. Hey, I want to compete on stage. Like you knew that like, hey, like it's going to suck.
9 months of crap.
But like if your goal is to get you to a certain point and you have a support system around you that will show you the proper way to exit that, and know that, hey, this isn't long-term, but if you have a goal in mind, hey, I'm 250 pounds, I want to get to 200. All right, I can show you the way to get there, but it's not about getting there. It's about what happens. What's your 60 days after look like? What's your 90 days after look like? And if you can't tell me that, I don't want to talk to you about that crazy journey because you're just going to go the opposite direction just as fast because you haven't changed the habits to keep you there. You haven't changed your surroundings. You haven't changed the situation. You have a short-term carrot. And once you eat the carrot, you're just going to go back to whatever that was, the sleeve of cookies. So like you haven't like talked it through. And if you told me that like, hey, Joe, this is what I'm going to do. And you asked me and you said, hey, like, how can I do this properly and healthy? But I want to go all in. That's okay. We can talk about that. But again, all in is not sustainable long-term. You need a long-term strategy in terms of people around you, a community around you, people around you that are telling you the things that are going to keep you on that path,
or even the knowledge,
and keep you later there.
Yeah.
That aren't. It's just not all or nothing. You're not always turning it on and switching it off. It's not zeros and ones. It's how extreme are you? How, like, am I dieting? Am I not dieting? Am I in the middle? It's not all the way to 10, all the way to -10, but like, do I know what that navigation in between looks
where's
like?
that 5 at?
And do I know what that looks like? And does that later on translate?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What that looks like?
It's really just, you just basically broke it down as something sustainable,
Yes.
right? Compared to, like, and I like that too, because for me it was a little different when I started getting ready for the bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
So
you took it to the extreme.
I took it to the extreme 100%, but I didn't show it.
Yeah.
And the reason everyone's like, well, why aren't you posting more about your eating? Because it went against everything I believed in.
Correct.
I feel like I built an eating disorder, but at the end,
is.
it was for a certain goal though. So I do see what you're talking about there.
It is an extreme.
It's
with
the end goal, with
an end
the
goal.
out. I guess with the out.
But
I guess
but the difference is to most 285-pound Joe has that like show, but they don't know what the day after looks like.
Oh yeah,
They're back to 6 sleeves of Oreos in the hidden ice cream spoon.
And
that's the difference between you now knowing the mentality of that and knowing, hey, what's 30 days after look like? Like, there's nothing, like, I love like the 75 hards and stuff like that, and getting people in the right mindset to do harder things, to put themselves and apply themselves towards certain things. But it doesn't stop on 676.
No.
That is my problem with most of them, is that they do a 75 hard or they do a 30-day or a 60-day recomp.
But what's
they
the
have
31 look like? Or the 75, 76
Yeah,
look like?
what's 76? What's 150? What's 75 days later look like? Does it look like right where you started? Because that's not sustainable either.
Yeah.
But if you can find a new normal and set new parameters to like what healthy is, and to me, like, healthy is anything above or below 220 and above 195. And I kind of stay in there, and hey, you know what? I know how to navigate that area really well. I know that, like, hey, the certain things that when I start getting up here, like,
it's time to reel it back in.
Yeah.
And but that's built off of, so what we should be do. So basically, I think if I heard you correctly, is that what you're saying is, while doing the crash diets, while doing the 0 to 100s, learn.
You need longevity.
Learn longevity. Learn. You got to learn. Well, you have to learn between that.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing 75 hard. You're doing all these things that make your life better. Why would you flush those away when you finish the program?
Why would you just give it back?
Where did you? Yeah. Why would you exactly, like, where's the discipline, right? Where's the accountability after day 31, after 76? Like, and that's very true. And I like that, because at the end of the day, without knowledge, there's no success.
Yeah.
If you sit here and I give you a piece of paper and I'm like, hey, these are the 5 things you need to do for the next 50 days, and you're going to lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. And you do it.
Yeah.
And then boom, I take that piece of paper away. If you were smart, you would remember those tasks that need to be done for you to continue to lose weight or stay the same weight. But what people do is that paper gets taken away and they lose all accountability. They lose all motivation, or forget motivation. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Not motivation. They lose all accountability. They lose all discipline, right? They lose all that stuff because now that paper is gone. But the time they're supposed to be learning while they're in the process. That's why people say fall in love with the process, but also too, learn in the process.
You have to learn, because if you go back to the same habits that you started day -1 or the day before the 75,
Going back to the same version.
Then you're just going to find yourself back in the old version of yourself. I mean,
you just said something solid right there.
You haven't changed. You haven't become the new person that you are. You became a different version temporarily.
Like borrowed version.
But you didn't change any, like, the habits didn't really change mentally. Yeah. It was like, hey, for this goal, I'll do this. But that wasn't sustainable, and that wasn't something that they could do.
And the outcome showed. Because once you lost the 100 pounds, you start putting that stuff back or whatever it is. So, like, what's your thought now? Looking at how you started, and obviously you needed that kickstart, right?
Yeah.
So, what's the thought process now on how you look at weight loss? Since you've lost over 100 pounds, you've kept it off.
I think just like so many things in life, everything's an environment.
Okay.
I think if you surround yourself with good people, good coaches, good like social family structure, I mean, you are a summation of the people that you spend the most time with.
100%.
And I think that for most people, it's not that they don't know how to do. They don't have the accountability to hold them there. They don't have somebody there to say, hey, you know what? Like, you probably shouldn't have grabbed that, like, sleeve of Oreos. hey, like, where were you yesterday when like the problem with a regular gym, the problem with like most people going to the gym is that there's not somebody there making sure that they're there. Like it's so easy sometimes to walk in and like not have the attitude or not have the mentality to do it. And like nobody was like, hey, like I didn't see you for the full hour. And you're like, oh fuck, all right. Like let's get back at it. Like
I always say, just because you showed up doesn't mean you showed up.
Yeah.
Right. And what I mean by that is just because you went to the gym doesn't mean you gymmed.
Yeah.
Right. You mean you did the movements, but what did you get out of it?
Yeah.
Did you really give your all? You know what I mean? And I think you would, sharing, what you're sharing is like the accountability, not only from yourself, but your surroundings. And people think that, a friend is someone that is always like, hey man, you look good, bro. Yeah. You lost weight. You look good, but knowing damn well you look different. That's actually a horrible friend.
Yeah.
Right. A real friend is going to look at you and want to see the best for you.
Yeah.
And they're going to call you out on your bullshit.
And it can hurt.
It can, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If I were to look at you and say, God damn, you're a freaking ugly ass leprechaun. You're like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Are you nuts?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not true. But if I were to say something that you knew was true about yourself, it's going to hurt because the truth hurts.
Yeah.
Right? When people would talk about my weight and people would say I need to lose weight, I didn't want to talk about it because it was too true. It was too true. It hurt. Yeah. Right? It hurt my feelings. But it also made me have to realize a problem that I had to fix that I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Right? So the people that think real friends are the ones that are constantly there for you and supporting you when you're being an asshole, those are not real friends. Those are actually, what do they call those? Enablers.
Yeah. And most of them are the ones that,
probably not doing nothing themselves.
Don't want to do it themselves. So they kind of try to pull you back into the bucket. The whole like crab mentality of like, hey, like when you're trying to better yourself, well, they kind of see that they're not bettering their self. So they're like, come on, let's go out. What happened to you?
Misery loves company, right?
Yeah, you changed. And then like you truly do change. And like they see that like, hey, like they were around when you were different and they are still at the same place and they haven't changed anything about it. And they don't have the same attitude on life, the same attitude on food, wealth. Any number of different things that you did. And changing the people that you're around and putting yourself in the bucket with the people that will like maybe didn't
they'll help push you out the bucket, not pull you out of it.
But like, hey, like Joe, I didn't see you today. Like, or like, hey, like you're like,
well, like you did when you see me, you're like, yo, when are we gonna get you back in the gym deadlifting? You know what I mean? And it wasn't like, oh man, you don't understand. Been so busy. It's more like, damn man, he's right. Like I got busy and I haven't been deadlifting. But it's before when I was insecure about who I was in the life I lived, I would have took a defense. Yeah. Now when you said, I'm like, oh damn, Joe's a motherfucker. You're right. Yeah. I got to get back. You know what I mean?
I loved your story. You said that you wanted to deadlift your heaviest client's weight,
700.
And when we were walking around my gym, I said, I don't have 700 pounds in weights on here. So I sent you a picture.
Yeah.
The very next day that I ordered a brand new Rogue calibrated deadlift set.
They're pretty.
And they still haven't been used.
They haven't been used.
No, they've been used, just not by
me.
Anthony. Just
not by me, but we're back. I got called on my own podcast. I appreciate it. That's a real homie right there.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Yeah, but like that's a real friendship. Like that's, and we've only known each other. I've only known you for a couple months. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like that's the circle, the groups we need to be in, right? It's like we don't need to be in the group where everyone's doing the same thing they've been doing since high school. Nothing's worse than the and people listening and know this person because everyone has a friend like this who they capped in high school. Like their best moments in life were high school parties or high school situation. Hey, remember in high school, bro? I don't care what I did in high school.
Call them out now.
I got a couple people. I'm scrolling. I'm like,
my Facebook will get like called out and be like, like, oh wow, you did it.
They recalled me out, huh? Yeah. And we all have the people. But it's like I don't ever want to be that person. Like, hey, remember that party? It was freaking crazy. I'm freaking 40 years old. Yeah. Like my highlight I don't want to be high school. Like I want to always.
I don't want my highlight reel to be like all in the past. I want my things to be forward.
Exactly. And so that's by separating yourself. I'm not saying they're bad people, but it's time for you to level up. Yeah. I'm not worrying about your friend. Your friend's not listening to this podcast. Yeah. You're listening to this podcast. Why are you listening to this podcast? To be better. How are you going to get better? By leveling up. How are you going to level up? By working on your tasks that you need to become better every single day.
And that was kind of, what drew me originally to you. And almost, I don't want to say the full creation of the gym, but like my new gym, the lighting is studio lighting.
Sick.
It's the entire ceiling is halo lights at the same hue as what we're sitting at right now. Why? Not because it was cheap, but because I wanted people to be able to come in and feel comfortable telling their story. And I wanted a hybrid space where different people of different fitness backgrounds could come in and be able to set up a AirPod or set up a camera or something like that. That they don't need their own studio. They don't need their own gym space. That, hey, it's a private gym. We have 100 members. We have visitors every day and we have 5 personal trainers. And you know what? I have 2 other gyms that do the rest of like my business and pay for my house and stuff like that. I wanted another space that I could tell a story,
Yeah.
you know, and like that people could come in and that you could have somebody who's on a weight loss journey. You could have another person that's doing bodybuilding or calisthenics. And you know what, that like all people are kind of in that same space, and that it was a good quality, high aesthetic where you come in and like, it just looks very clean. It looks like something
you did a hell of a
looks
job
like a
with
studio
that.
setup.
You know, I was gonna say that it literally looks like you rent it out to make content in a gym.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people are like, did you go to the gym work out or did you just make content?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
Both.
that now it's both in that gym.
No, but I mean,
The lighting
part of
is
like
epic.
telling your story is that accountability piece. If you start telling your story and you're talking about your 700-pound deadlift, and then all of a sudden that goes away, well, now people are
Yes,
like,
they're there.
people you don't even know. They're like, hey, like what? Like I haven't
knocked that
seen
out.
your lifts this week.
Yeah,
Like,
well, now
what are you doing?
well,
Like, what's
the
going
best thing
on?
about,
And
you know,
now you're going to be now they're
accountable
gonna wanna
by
know why you're
thousands
on
of
there.
people. Well, because you know that I
Yeah.
always talk about my goals on my social media, not just to share, but to be accountable. Because people call me out. Like
Yeah.
people been following me since I was making car videos.
Yeah.
So I've been
lot.
talking to people
Yeah.
on Instagram for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I follow a lot of people back. I don't care what people I follow. If we have a conversation, if I see you're in a journey and something you said sparked interest, I'm gonna follow you because I get
Yeah.
motivation from a lot of different people.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like people talk to me like, "Yo, bro, you didn't do cardio this morning." I'm like, "Oh, today's a rest day." Or whatever, or like, yeah, I woke up late. I'm like, oh man, it made me feel like a bad. And then they'll go do cardio and tag me in it. They'll be like, oh, my head since heavy to modify missed a cardio today. I'm like, oh my god, now I got to go do cardio. But
I mean, it's a different
good,
world.
man.
I mean, obviously, social is a big part of like what people do and what people are excited about. And I mean, if you can give somebody something that they want to share, that they feel validation in sharing, aka like an aesthetic place. I mean, it's no different than, driving a fancy car or anything like that. Like you want to show it off. And if you have a nice gym space and nice place to be able to do that and be able to record it, like it looks a lot better than just being, hey, I'm at Planet Fitness doing my fitness training for today.
Good old
Like, not
purple.
saying you can't, but like,
No,
it's
I get
just
what
like-
you're saying. I
yeah,
get what you're saying.
like
It's-
giving you a safe
it's-
space to be able to do so.
It makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a nice gym,
Yeah.
a nice surrounding, good music playing. Your playlist is always pretty
Yeah.
dope, and the equipment's good. And obviously the owner's a badass. That's lost weight and he knows how it is. And you built a. I'm not gonna say you built an influencer gym, but I'm gonna say you built a sick ass gym.
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously sparked
We don't
my
want to say
interest.
influencer.
Yeah, I hate that word.
Although I want people to create content. I like it when people tell
We'll
stories.
say content creators.
Content creators, not influencers.
I hate the word
Yeah.
influencers. It disgusts me when people say that. But oh yeah, you're the influencer. No,
Yeah, no.
I document my life. That's all I do, man. That's all.
I am
do.
here to share my story.
Share
to hopefully
my
better
story.
yours.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There
that's
it
all.
is, man.
That's all. The more people I can affect, whether it's, nowadays, it can't be always one-to-one. It's not always in the same room.
I'm not for
So
everybody.
Not only that, but you're not like sharing the story like in a room in a town hall. Like your town hall is online.
my post. Yeah,
And the more
exactly.
people that can like follow it, the more people that have that hidden spoon, the more people that eat that sleeve of like cookies that they're like, hey, like I was there or I'm there now. Like if they could do it, I can do it.
Exactly.
Hey,
And I was about to
there's
say,
nothing wrong
like,
with that.
we're literally where we're talking, I was thinking, and I was like, like, what do you have to say to that person that has that hidden spoon?
You don't have to.
Okay.
Just stop. Easy answer, stop it. But like obviously it takes a little bit more than that. But like if you're hiding things are done. Like things are not like no. That's not normal. That's not the normal.
Yeah.
If you can't like just have a conversation about it, like find somebody that you can.
Yeah. And maybe talk.
Yeah. And again, it might not be a parent. It's probably not going to be a parent. It's probably not going to be a relative, not going to be a spouse, not going to be somebody that you share an office with. That's not the best person to do so. Like find an accountability person that you can tell everything and that won't find shame in it, but wants to help you.
Yeah.
Better it.
And so exactly, man. Well, won't find shame in it.
Yeah.
Always like.
It's easier if you can find somebody that can 100% relate to, but if not, find somebody that that has clients or that has other people that can share the journey.
Share the journey. And like I said, like you said, not judge you for it.
Yeah.
You have a problem.
Yeah.
Let's come up with a solution.
Yeah.
And let's get out there and execute, right?
Yeah.
And that's it, man. Because so many people feel like they're alone. Now, I didn't hide spoons,
Yeah.
but I hid rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You hid probably different things.
The whole, emotions, 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 right? I had a smile on my face all the time, but I was unhappy with how I looked, very insecure.
Yeah.
But outside, I was an extrovert. I was a go-getter. I was a this, I was a that. But inside, I was not that person.
Yeah.
Just had the mask on. So we hide more than spoons, and we hide more than
And
rappers.
it doesn't always have to be physical.
No.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be physical hidden.
And
You know what I mean? It just can be everything else. I know you're talking about like, before we got on the podcast, you were talking about having surgery for skin.
Oh yeah.
I
I think July.
that was-
When is it? July like 20
That
something. I go for
that
my
was
first
one thing I thought about for. There was probably about a 3-year stint where like every time I was doing planks, my stomach would like hang down.
Mm-hmm.
The skin around my stomach would hang down during planks. I'd be staring at because you're sitting there in a fucking plank.
Yeah,
There's
you're
nothing
in a
else-
tucked in
there's
position.
nothing
You got
else
no
to
choice
do,
but to look at the
and all
gut.
you're doing is just like looking at the skin hanging down. You're like eventually you just like, you know what? Like, I don't know. Like if it helps me tell a better story, like
It is
and
what it
helps
is.
other people account to it. Like, I don't like that was me. That's not me now. But like, hey, like
That
like,
was me.
yeah.
Look at me now.
Yeah.
For me, it was more of like once I didn't place in the bodybuilding show, I knew it was time because I worked my ass off, and I personally feel that I had a better physique than a lot of the people up there.
Yeah.
At least to place.
Yeah.
But I feel that the skin held me back, and now that the skin I feel held me back,
gonna
and
do
now
it
I
again?
feel it's 100%.
Yeah.
I don't like losing. I don't mind losing.
Yeah.
It's a lesson. It's not failure. It's a lesson.
Sure.
But I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm very competitive.
Could you be competitive in something else?
I'm competitive in anything.
Could you win in everything else and be okay with not placing that one?
No, I'm not. I don't like losing anything.
Gotcha.
See all those game systems?
Yeah.
I hold the championship in this house right now for everything on there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to play Mario Kart for a long time on that freaking thing, but I've learned it.
Separate side note, I'd say that's a waste of time. I would say that that's hours that you could dedicate towards this podcast and towards your business.
You know, it could be done, but yeah, well my friend beats me in it.
Yeah,
Now
no,
I don't care.
I used to remember those like when you'd play like Resident Evil and like you'd finish it and it would tell you your hours, like how many hours it took you. And like, so when I moved to Vegas, I gave all my game systems to my little brother. I have not played a video game in 16 years.
Bro, that's
Because
you're savage.
again, I'm OCD in that, just like I'm OCD
Once you
in
start
food,
it, you're
just
not
like,
stopping.
Yeah, it's all I'm going to think about.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? What
I
I
feel
want
you
to
in
think
that
about is I want to think about my business.
Yeah.
I want to think about my family.
Yeah.
I want to think about the things that like are going to get me things in life. And winning a video game is never going to do that.
No, just a step of approval from your friends.
I'm not going to.
I messed up and did that,
the
man.
The deadlift for 700 pounds is going to get you way more in health and wealth and
Oh, yeah.
everything else than 6 more hours of Mario Kart to come in first.
Oh yeah, no, I believe you. I believe you, but my pride would not let win. But no, I'm already holding championships here.
That's another side.
That's another
on
side
it.
thing. Yeah, my competitive side is like I did that.
Yeah.
I did that to myself. You know, I don't really play a lot of video games. I like having all that stuff there. So when my godson comes over, friends come over, whatever it might be, right?
But
I got Spider-Man.
That might change because I have a 2-year-old. So like when she gets a little bit older, like I'm not against having video games in the house. I just know that like
If you have it,
like
you use it.
Yeah, and you know what? 4 hours on that as opposed to 4 hours in my businesses, like
Always gonna be better for your business.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I'd prefer the video games are a lot more fun. It's kind of like sleeves of Oreos or the chicken breasts. You know what? One or the other. Like I could put 4 more hours into my businesses, or I could spend 4 hours playing Mario Kart and win first prize. I could eat the sleeve of Oreos, or I could eat chicken.
We know what we want, but we know what we
Correct.
need, right?
Yeah.
But that's where discipline comes in. It's doing what you want. It's doing what you don't want to do when you know you need to do it, right? And that's what the discipline is. You know, it's just that long. It's a long game, man.
Maybe you lockbox that till you hit that.
No, I was thinking. I told Francine, I think I'm gonna give him a PS5 to my godson first for a couple months because I got Spider-Man and I started playing it way too much and I beat the thing at 100%. I looked at it, how long it took me to beat it. I'm like, oh no, I checked.
you're
But
like,
you know what? The cool thing is I checked
Yeah.
myself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because we do have to have fun, but that's not the fun I wanted to have.
Yeah.
But I got locked in. I couldn't not
what
beat
you
the
think
game.
about, too.
You know what I mean?
That's what you're thinking about when you're doing other stuff too.
Calling me out on my podcast right now, man. But it's you know, we all got it. We all got our.
Yeah, no,
we're
there's-
not
yeah.
crutches. It's our.
Yeah.
What is it called? Band-Aids?
Yeah,
Or vices.
vices. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's one
Some
of
are
the,
healthier than others.
Yeah.
Some are.
I'd rather be playing PlayStation than eating.
Yeah.
Because that was
100%.
my vice was food, you know. But at the end of the day, though, I do want to get back into something that, you know, because we're anyway, then we started talking, right?
Yeah.
But I do want you to kind of like share something with, you know, the person that's struggling right now with where old Joe used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think I always love ending the podcast off that way because we could talk about anything on this podcast. But the main thing is that we always want to take multiple different things from it.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people right now are the start of their journey.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like they're too far gone.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like there's no one there that supports them or that they're by themselves.
Yeah.
Right. I never thought about hiding a spoon.
Yeah.
And it's hearing stuff like that is absolutely it's another side of your story.
Yeah.
That's your story. So what would you, before we head out, like what would you tell that person that it's at the start as at day one, right? But they're at the first version of Joseph, Ohio Joseph.
Find somebody that you can confide in, whether that be a coach, whether again, Probably not going to be a spouse, probably not going to be a family member, because again, they don't really want to see a change. They like who you are to some degree. Find somebody else that you can share your wins, and constantly find a win. Like, even if hey, you know what? Like, oh, I was sore today. Okay, did you move? All right, well, you didn't not move, so you won.
Okay.
Like, move forward. All right, so like you had 6 good days last week. You had 1 bad one. So what? That was 6 good ones.
Let's go.
Move forward. You know, it's celebrating the small ones, knowing that, hey, every day is not going to be a great day, but it's having the mindset that if you take enough at bats at anything, you're going to get where you want to get. You're not going to hit a home run every single time. You're going to strike out. But if you keep moving forward, if you keep taking the swings and you have people there that are willing to encourage you, then you're going to keep moving forward. You're going to continue doing the right things and stacking small wins that are going to move you in the right direction.
Let's go.
You're gonna strike out. You're gonna strike out 3 times in a row. But I mean, over the longevity, like, have somebody there. Again, whether it's a coach, whether it's a family member, whether it's, I mean, just another person at the gym that you've never met before, that holds you accountable and says, hey, hey, we're both doing the same thing, or both have the same goals, and like, find that person that helps. Because I mean, again, being able to share wins is the biggest, and also sharing the losses, you know, like being able to open up and say, hey, like, you had a week that like you didn't lose weight, or you didn't like PR a back squat, or you didn't do this. Well, over the last 6 weeks, you've gone from here to here. So are we going to have some setbacks? Probably. But hey, you know what? We're going to pick it back up, and we're going to do it again tomorrow, and we're going to give it another 6 at bats. We're going to give it another 6 swings.
Let's go, man. I like that, man. Well, just kind of piggyback off what he said, is that every single day we're working to become better, not perfect.
Correct.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And don't let one mistake turn into 2 mistakes, turn into 3. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. Don't let one bad week turn into a bad month. Yeah. Right. At the end of the day, we're going to fall. Not every single professional basketballer makes a 3-pointer every single time.
No, but they don't think they take another shot.
They take another shot, and they keep shooting. They keep shooting. That's what you need to do right now. I don't care if you had a bad week. You can fix it today. I don't care if you had a bad month. Start fixing it today. I don't care if you had a bad 2023. Fix it today. Start working yourself. Stay consistent. Hold yourself accountable, and understand that over time, change will happen. Right?
And find the surroundings that allow it.
Let's go.
Whatever that is.
Would you say change your surroundings to change your life?
Yeah.
What we said?
Yeah.
I like that. And this is Modify Your Life podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, and Joseph.
Yep.
Your social medias. What are we getting? What do you want to drop? Everything's at the bottom. We got all your stuff. We're prepared. This is our first podcast. We got notes on them.
Yeah,
we got his
JTPLV,
Instagram. Everything.
The Strip Barbell, the Strip CrossFit, Tread Vegas.
Say that one more time. I think I cut you off the first part, so go ahead and say it one more time.
Yeah. JTPLV is my personal.
Okay.
The Strip Barbell is our social gym. Then we have 2 other group fitness concepts, the Strip CrossFit and Tread Vegas, both like accountability, community, that type of gyms.
And then the Strip Barbell, all your gyms are what? Like,
they're all in the same plaza.
8 miles away from the gym?
Yeah, no, they're all in the same parking lot.
8 miles away from the Strip.
No, like half a mile from the Strip.
Oh, I said 8. I'm 8 miles from the
You're
Strip. I'm sorry. Let's try it
from the
again.
Strip. Yeah, you're 8 miles
all
from
your
us.
gyms are. Yeah, there it is.
No,
all your gyms are like less than a mile away from the Strip.
Yeah, Central Vegas.
So when you're on vacation,
you
know
get
what
a lot of visitors.
You want to hit the barbell gym.
The number 1 frequented gym in Las Vegas.
Let's go, boss, man. All right, man. It was a pleasure having you, man. Hopefully,
you.
I know this brought
my bedtime.
Yeah, I know. We were talking. I'm on this way. Everyone out there, thank you so much. If we brought value, don't forget to share it.
Yeah.
If you liked it, don't forget to share it. If you hated this, don't forget to share it.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next time.
For myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man. It can't be.